it's Don here, and welcome to The Board. Today, we're doing a slightly different thing because we're running on a live stream. At least, I hope so, because I've hit the start button. So we'll see in a couple of seconds, I guess, what actually turns up on YouTube. Now, as usual, I'm joined with my co-host, Kevin. How's it going, Kevin?
Good. It's going good today. It's been a good week, and I'm excited to have a good weekend.
Fantastic. Now, there is actually, I think, about a 60-second delay from what I just saw when I hit start streaming. So I don't know when our YouTube listeners are going to be checking in. However, I can see that we already have a couple of people. Hey, how's it going, Disco Frog and Philippe and the Boom Boy? Thanks very much for checking in on us and joining the actual stream. Oh, they're counting down, I think, 5 something. I don't know, maybe it's seconds. We'll just have to see how it goes.
The Boom Boy, he's an OG fan at this point.
He is. It's actually pretty good timing for him. It's a couple of hours behind us over in Perth for him, so it's late at night, but not too late at night. And how's it going, BW Zebra? Okay, now Disco Frog says let's go. So we have actually been running for about a minute and a half now. I actually don't know if they've caught up, but you know what? Let's see what they say. Are we on delay? Are we on delay? Maybe, perhaps. You know what? It doesn't matter. We got a bunch of things, of course, we're going to be talking about this week as per usual. And oh, hey, how's it going, Bishop Keyboards? Thank you very much for checking in. Fantastic. I hope you appreciate the fact that we were able to give that shout out for you last week on the Eco. Philippe is asking how long will the live stream last today. It's probably going to go for about an hour because that's typically how long our episodes run for, since we are actually recording this podcast as well for our weekly release. It's not just a me by myself kind of thing. Yes, so let's just get back to our topic list for the week. And we've got quite a few things, but while we're actually talking, I thought I'd do something a little bit different in terms of the background. So normally in the past, I've had a whiteboard and I've drawn doodles and things like that. Some other live streams we've had, I've sort of shown stuff on the screen in relation to the threads. But as we go, of course, there's often gaps and whatnot. And rather than just staring at my face the entire time, I thought I'd just have something going on in the background. And I'm just going to be messing around in Autodesk Inventor. Otherwise, you can also have Fusion, which will allow you to do very similar things. And I'm going to play around with some plate case files and try and make a case while we chat. So before we get onto that though, I think we should do our 600 subscriber giveaway because, I know that everybody's been hanging out for that. We've had a pretty good response to that. Where is the actual keycap? Here it is. So let me just pop that out for those who are actually watching live on the stream. As an appreciation, of course, for having our wonderful 600 subscribers, we're going to be giving away today. We're going to draw the winner of this lovely November 2016 New Zealand Greenstone edition. And of course, that will be shipped out to whoever it is as long as they can get back to me with an address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out this tab. I'm going to stick it onto my other screen. Let's get that screen on and let us draw the winner. Drum roll, please, Kevin. And the winner is... Oh, I got to draw it. Brendan F. From Wellington, New Zealand. Fantastic.
Ooh.
That's very unusual. But a local.
An Oceanite.
So, Brendan F., I will send you an email and get back to me with your address, and away we go. We're going to be able to get that keycap to you. Hey, how's it going, Natzen? Yes, congratulations to Brendan. Congratulations. Now, I'm just going to rearrange my desk a little bit so we can start messing around. Oh, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Such a classic phrase. So, where are we now? Our YouTube channel's around 650 odd, so we will have another giveaway at 700 subscribers. And the last of the available Movember keycaps that I've got chilling out here is the Red Nose edition. Hey Benjamin, thank you very much for checking in. Now I'm just gonna switch back to my desktop. There we go. And there is the Red Nose edition for our people who are watching. It's got a bit of a koala-ish top red and the bottom of it's black. So 700 subscribers is when we're going to be able to give that away. How's it going, Outrage Pudding? Great to see you here. All the way from France. Hope you enjoyed your holiday as well recently when you went and hung out with Yoris. Fantastic to see you guys chilling out. Okay.
I certainly enjoyed hanging out with yours, so I'm sure he had similar experiences.
Okay, so what do you think we should be chatting about to start off with, Kevin? Lead on.
All right. So I think that the first thing which I probably want to talk about, which is not necessarily the most positive thing, but it's gotten a lot of traction recently, so I think it's important to cover it, is this whole situation with Massdrop and the customer who purchased SA Carbon. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this situation, the customer purchased SA Carbon, and Massdrop actually they flagged his transaction as it tripped a few wires, and they basically refunded him for the purchase and said that, sorry, we can't accept your payment. And now that the run for SA Carbon is over, he can no longer enter, and he can't pay them again. So he's really just out of luck. And you can actually read through all their logs because they posted them all. My favorite one is the one where he says, what you can do is request to have this set run again, and next time it runs, you'll get an email for it, and you can enter it then. But as we all know, SA sets run, like Penumbra has run twice in 5 years, and this is only the second time SA Carbon's ever run. So the next time it could run, it could be in 5 years. So this is just useless to tell him. And they gave him a $20 coupon, which I guess is cool, but it doesn't really make up for the whole situation of them kind of telling him that he's just out of luck. Don, did you get a chance to read through this and have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I feel for the guy. I do, but at the same time, though, you have to ask the question on what it was exactly that caused that trip. It was a thing that was supposedly with the Bank of America and whatnot, and it kind of makes you wonder, at the end of the day, there must have been some kind of behavior that did it, right? Now, if it was obviously his fault or not his fault, it still sucks, but it is for the general protection of both, I guess, Massdrop, him, and the bank. So there's really no right or wrong about it, because there's strict policies that Massdrop is applying to protect themselves as a company and as well as their other consumers. So what can you do?
Yeah, I see your perspective on it, that they need to look out for their own company too. And if this guy tripped these wires and alerted their system, there has to be at least some I guess proof and evidence that something was going on, whether or not it was his fault or whether it was even anything malicious is really not it's not known. But
yeah, but at the same time, right, like if you think about it, it's not in Massdrop's interests to reject a customer. At the end of the day, it's a customer, it's money, it's reputation. they're not going to go out of the way just to spite some dude who, you know, it's $150, it's $150. Unless if there was some kind of personal vendetta from somebody, maybe in accounts or whatnot, that has specifically gone, oh, it's this guy. Well, you know what? I don't want to sell to him. Then it doesn't make any sense, does it? Well,
No.
okay. So Mendez in chat has actually said the issue is communication and not giving the person an opportunity to fix it. And Philippe has said also the guy said his order did +1 the total order count, so they should be able to invoice him again and sell him one set. So it appeared that he'd actually ordered two. Now, addressing what Mendez has said, the issue of communication, not giving the person an opportunity to fix it, that may be related to the money. And it may be related to banking policies, because if there's something that's flagged in the system, it's going to be automatic, especially if it's related to financial institutions. For example, I've been working in retail before, and one of the things that I've seen when I've worked in retail is somebody pays with a card and the card gets rejected. And you're like, okay, well, is that because you didn't have money on it and whatnot? And I've had customers in front of me literally call up the bank and go, hey, my card got rejected. And they go, oh, suspicious behavior. And everything is frozen out. And they were like, from what? And they went, from this transaction. And then, you know, that ends up being a whole rigmarole because it's the bank's automatic systems that do that. So if Massdrop's bank went straight away, then part of their policy is perhaps, I don't know, maybe that they have no choice but to cancel that invoice. And if that's the case, then, you know, that really, really sucks. But we won't know unless if Massdrop actually do something to, I suppose, give transparency to this. Now, I do know that obviously people have flagged various people, Yambo and Alex, and I think there was somebody else that was also flagged to the situation. No? Yes? Something like that?
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, they're going to be able to actually help the guy out. Yeah, I mean, Massdrop typically, though, also has backups for when things go wrong, right? We know that this does happen. They always order a little bit more. You just don't know how many they order a little bit more. Maybe they'll be able to help him out with one of those. We don't know. It's still quite early in the piece. But, and things that are coming up in chat is that, you know, Massdrop took the money. That's not cool. You know, why can't they sell them a kit that's already ordered? You know, what Strangers completes is that Massdrop, what is it? What is Strangers? Any complaints towards Massdrop are getting downvoted and things like that. Well, yeah, it's not a pleasant situation for anyone. I don't know why complaints towards Massdrops are getting downvoted. Maybe they've got voting bots. Who knows? There's always arguments about downvoting bots in the community. So, and the thing is, there is actually a lot of stuff that's happening with Massdrop lately, don't you think? Have you felt that there's been a bit of breakdown lately, Kevin?
Yeah, I have definitely been seeing that recently. The last thing I could think of is the I guess the Yambo's Closet thing. That was pretty lame for a lot of people.
Yeah, it sure was. I know a lot of people weren't very appreciative of that, missing out on things. Timing as well. So, yeah, I mean, we probably shouldn't dwell too much on that unless if people want to really throw more commentary on it. But Massdrop is growing a lot. If you only go to Massdrop and have a look at their keyboard section, you don't really see what else is happening on Massdrop, but they've got so many new communities. They've got beauty, for example, that's just opened up as a beta. And they've got kitchenware, they've got knives, they've got everyday carry, they've got camping, all sorts of stuff. So it's not really that surprising if something is starting to break and the ball is getting dropped simply because they've got too much happening on their plate. That's kind of what I'm feeling about it at the moment.
I mean that just means that they need to
Yeah.
hire more managers and hire more developers, and like it seems like having too much on their plate is good if they're profiting, if they're a profitable company.
There is that, but at the same time, right? Like, you got to make sure that you can handle what you've got before you start going further, if that makes sense. So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I understand. You biting off more than you can chew,
exactly.
and then struggling with what you have. That makes sense. It was interesting because I actually hit this topic browsing through R all, which doesn't. It happens a decent amount because our sub is relatively large, but I was like, "Whoa, talk about mass drop." I'm sure it's related to keyboards.
Yeah, well, they probably don't have as much following compared to other um, communities, at least on Reddit, if that makes sense. So, hmm. I can only hope that they will get their things in order, and of course satisfy everyone with as little pain, I guess, for both Mastrop and for everybody else as well. Otherwise,
Yeah,
yeah, its reputation is very important in our community, and well, they're not doing themselves any service when they're having issues about stuff having to be cancelled. Especially with this whole opt-in thing that, of course, follows regulations from the what is it the
FTC,
the
Federal Trade
FTC,
Commission.
and things like that. So Philippe says, he doesn't think the downvoting's from bots. It's just a lot of people who like Mastrop. It's the same with Jelly Key. When we've seen mass downvoting when people criticize Jelly Key and so forth. And Andrew Bishop says, running a business is risk. Must always ensure, try to take care of your customers. So, it's bad PR, yes, and they probably really have dropped the ball. Customer service definitely is very important, Andrew. I concur very much. Okay, well, where do we go from here?
Let's cover a quick little bit of news.
Mm-hmm.
So this past week there was actually a keyboard meetup in Los Angeles hosted by Originative, and there was a nice album which was posted with some really cool pictures, and it really looks like an awesome meet. The whole rooftop skyline thing. I'm a big fan of it, and like looking at the pictures, looks like a lot of people were there. For example, I know our good friend Jolly Green Giant made it, and I mean it looks awesome. There's a picture with something like 10 KWK keycaps, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw them and I was like, wow. Did somebody get given one by Marshall, whoever this Marshall person is? Is that
I
the
don't
actual
know.
original creator of it? I'm not sure. So,
I'm not sure. I don't actually know the Marshall, but there is a Rancor in the pictures, so that's pretty hype.
well, as long as it's a good quality Rancor, right? Then it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, man.
you don't
KW.
you don't sound convinced.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen a good quality one, so I'm waiting on that. KWKs are so pretty though. They're so good quality. Those that's wild.
Well, but I mean, that's also why they're such sought after caps, though,
That's
right?
why they're $500. Yeah, yeah. So that's really all I wanted to cover with that. Huge shout out to Originative for hosting that and organizing that. I'm really sad that I couldn't make it, but fortunately, because it landed on a Thursday, there was no way I could have ever gotten down to LA and fit a trip in there. But I'll definitely be at the next LA one if possible. And I'm just once again, thanks again to Sheraton and Originative for making that awesome meetup happen.
Yeah, of course. Um, I think a lot of people were really keen on it as well because there were some special guests that turned up. For example, Rama was there, I believe. Uh,
The most beautiful man on RMK.
I don't think he needs that much head inflation, does he? Although I suppose
Uh,
it's hard to contest that there's going to be anybody else that meets that kind of category.
He's gorgeous.
Kevin,
Uh,
you're not single, right?
nope, I am not. I am not single. But Rama, feel free to message me anytime.
Is he on your cheat list?
Yes. There's exceptions, Don. There's always exceptions.
Fantastic.
And so that's as far. Oh, yeah, there was also Norbauer, who is the creator of Galaxy Class as well as the Norbauer cases.
Yes, I saw that picture.
And then Andy from Key Chatter, at least I heard he was going. I'm assuming he made it, but I don't see any pictures of him. But there wasn't too many pictures of the people. Just this Marshall dude, who's like a celebrity now, I guess.
Well, that's why I was wondering if he was like the KWK guy.
Marshall, wow. I wonder if is he that guy? Is he Mitosis? Is that who he is?
No,
because there's
Mitosis guy's an Australian. Reverse Bias is the guy who created it.
Mitosis is Australian?
Yeah, Mitosis is Australian. The guy who designed the Mitosis is an Australian.
No, not Mitosis, but Mitosis, the guy on Geek Hack.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
There's a dude named Mitosis who's from LA, okay. And I think I heard that he was involved in the meetup a little bit, trying to organize it. So.
Oh well, maybe then.
But if I had to guess what he would look like, that would be my guess. So we have no fucking idea. So, all right, moving on.
Moving on.
Two little things which are related, which I thought would be interesting to cover.
Yeah.
Are KBD fans. So the first thing which I wanted to cover is right now it's actually the top of RMM, r/mech market, and they KBD fans is actually running some Tada 68 DIY kits.
Yes.
So this was actually something that I had constantly submitted to Sheraton as a concept for Originative. I really wanted DIY kits for the Tada, now known as the Saber 68. Mm-hmm. And it looks like KBD fans has made that happen. So that's really cool. And you get choices between aluminum cases as well as plastic cases, which is awesome as well because they are providing support for the aluminum design, which I think is a great looking design.
I did see that, and I was actually really interested. The only thing that kind of threw me off was when I went to the page on KBD fans and it said, you need to go and get your own switches and bits. And I was like, oh, if it was a DIY kit, they should have put those options in the same buy as opposed to like, here's a link to go and buy switches separately.
But the links are on their site, so you.
Oh, they are. I know, but I'm just saying they should have just come in. If they went to the effort of actually building that page for the kit, why couldn't they have just put an extra drop-down menu and gone, let's add some switches to it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see what you mean. I did want to say though that their site, I think it's a nice site. So despite that it has that shortcoming, I think that overall it's a lot better than some keyboard sites.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's just in terms of lazy me, you know, I don't want to have to click extra clicks and then go to other places and add stuff to cart when I can just be like drop down menu as I go along and select my options. That said, of course, I was just like, oh, the price of adding an aluminium case to it really blows it out though.
Yeah,
it's like $149 for the kit, right? Plus switches and everything else.
So it's interesting because I pride KBD fans on being very, very affordable, and this kit, it definitely like is at the top range of what I would have expected them to bring this at a lower price just from what I've seen, because this isn't necessarily as complex as the KBD 75, for example, but the price is the same with the aluminum kit. So I was a little bit disappointed because I would have thought they would have been able to work out a cheaper price, but everything else besides that seems pretty acceptable. I've had I ordered the recently ordered the Palm set from KBD fans, and they were very helpful with any questions I had, and I've had a pretty good customer experience from them so far. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you should be apprehensive about purchasing from them because overall I've had a great time with it.
I don't think I'm apprehensive of it. It was a little bit more than what I was anticipating, simply because when I was like, well, a fully built Tata is like what, around $100,
Yeah,
$120, and then well, if I'm gonna get a keyboard, sure, you know, it's an aluminium case, which does cost more, obviously, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, now you're looking a lot more, especially if you're going to be building it yourself. So then
it's
that's
probably coming in. It's coming in close to 200, honestly,
yeah, and
with
that's what I mean
switches.
by that. I was a little bit thrown off by it. You know, I'm not saying that it's necessarily expensive. It was just more than I had anticipated once I actually realized, you know, these bits you have to put in on top. So, but you know, there is that thread that you'd linked in regards to their really great customer service that they provided. So you know, I think that's fantastic because obviously more people who shout out and say, "Hey, these guys are doing really well by the customer," is obviously exactly what you want to see. You know, so
Yeah, yeah. They're very great so far. I don't want to be a total shill for them, but this person basically posted that the FedEx, the shipping carrier that was sending them their KBD 75, it it basically got lost during shipping, something that most of us probably have experienced at some point. And he basically messaged KBD fans and said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but it's gone, and there's not much I can do about it." And they basically took his word for it, and they got him a replacement, which is awesome. That sounds exactly like what you need to do to make your customer have the best experience on your site as possible.
yeah, and they didn't charge me or anything for it. So like a
You can
complete
actually you can actually message them on Facebook, which so one weird thing is their account like automatically adds you as a friend on Facebook, and then you can choose to accept it or not. But I accepted it just because keyboards are life, and I basically messaged them recently with some questions I had, and they were very quick to respond, and they were very responsive, and they gave me detailed responses. So that's awesome.
Well, it's good to hear that you had a really good experience with them as well. So,
So I guess I guess there's two more KBD fans topics. For those of you who hate KBD fans already, there's a bit more. So they posted this picture of the 90% keyboard. It's a new design which they're working on. It's a big, bulky aluminum case, basically the size of a TX 1800. It's an 1800 style keyboard, and they right now they just posted technical drawings of it, not even CAD models really, but it's slightly smaller than a full 1800. It supports a lot of different options, programmability, and when this comes out for a group buy, I'll definitely be checking this out, and I wish them the best of luck on developing this project. Hopefully, they can keep it affordable as well. And piece of the last piece of news. Actually, this isn't KBD fans, so let's wait on this one.
all right.
Don, do you want to do any topics jump out to you?
Um, I guess just to make stuff just fly a little bit quickly, just a couple of quick touch on things. Uh, we've mentioned GMK Nautilus several times already in the last couple of weeks, so I just want to say that if you haven't decided yet, there's only 8 days to go. But what's really cool about it is the fact that they've now released a new base price break point at 1,500 sets, which has dropped another $10. So it's gone down to 109.99 right now, and if they hit 1,500 on the base set, it'll go down another 10 to 99.99. And as of the 12th, they were at 12.51. So there's a reasonable chance it might hit that, but hey, saving another $10, it's another $10. I'm still sitting on the fence. I do kind of want it, but yeah, I don't know if I've really got the funds. So, short of somebody actually buying it for me, it's a 50-50, but I do have 8 days to think about it.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Who the heck are you winking at?
Somebody with money to buy you a key set.
Yeah, well, that's not anybody in here, is it? So
Nope, not me.
so that's just how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, so that's just a very quick shout out for Nautilus.
All right.
What the
Yep.
heck just happened there? I swear that.
And then another topic which I see is you mentioned that the 4x4 sale is ending on July 31st.
Yes, it
So
is.
So for those of you that haven't been following it, the 4x4 sale is a big sale which Binge has been doing, which he hasn't released the numbers, but I would guess he's probably close to 500 plus, maybe close to 1,000 entries.
It's insane.
He's making keycaps for so basically you can order one and you're guaranteed to receive one, and you choose the colorway based on 4 different colors and 4 different color sets with 4 different colors, and the color value. So if you choose purple, for example, you can get a dark purple, a light purple, different shades of purple, and such. And your keycap will have 3 of those 4 colors in your keycap, which is really cool because you get to choose to a certain extent your color options. And the guaranteed keycap is awesome because a lot of people are always sad when they miss out on raffles, which always tend to have limited numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So just a quick shout out for that. Check it out if you haven't, and if you're interested in picking up a Binge Artisan, it's definitely going to be one of the easier ways to get one, and you're going to be able to directly support Binge by entering this, which is, it's always good to support the original maker and designer who has spent countless hours working on his designs and casting techniques and such. And he's going to spend countless hours making all these too, so.
And at least you know that there's pedigree behind it. Actually, while we're on it, and it is tangential, I do want to mention that Binge is amazing when it comes to transparency of work. And I'm not naming names simply because it doesn't actually exist. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but what I mean by that is any artisan maker, anybody who's out there in the community, if they wanted to, they could always not tell you how they do things, right? But when I did my video the other day where I said, hey, you got some loose stems, and I spoke to Binge about it. Binge was very forthcoming in explaining why they had potentially loose stems, and then also, what they do about loose stems and all that kind of stuff. Like, just so open and so forthcoming about it. It was just amazing. And so I really appreciate that. And not that I'm saying that other people are holding stuff back or hiding how they do things or being secretive, but and he openly acknowledges that there are better ways to do things, and they just currently don't know what that is. They're constantly striving to develop and improve and do, what they can to get the best out there. So he said they put a paint-on material on the inside of their stems to actually get a better fit if it's loose when they test them after they're casted. He's sure that it's not the best way. He just doesn't know what that currently is. So, yeah. Hey, great to see you, IP9932CD. Thanks for checking out our stream today. Just haven't really been watching the chat very much as I'm stuffing around on Inventor, as you can kind of see. So, yeah, so just some shout outs there. But I guess while we're talking about artisans and key sets, feel like rolling through some of the other ones?
Yeah, so one thing which we haven't been talking about too much, which I wanted to give a shout out because they've been killing it as far as the artisans go, is the Keyforge. Recently, he's been going crazy with some of his designs and colorways, and they're such vivid colors. There's that green one, I think it's called something diesel, as well as there's that blue and red, almost pink one. The way that he's getting these colors is crazy. It's definitely on the highest echelon of keycap colorways, and his sculpts, not to mention his sculpts being extremely detailed. So just wanted to shout him out because we haven't done it, and he's doing some really amazing work. So keep up the awesome work there, Keyforge.
Yeah.
And the last artisan I think for this week, which I wanted to shout out, is the spacebar keycap from Prime Caps. He posted a picture of it. It's his colorway, which he's been working on a lot, which is a sort of space style with a lot of different colors and a translucent top, like a clear resin top, which kind of creates a space style look to it. It looks really cool, and because he did it in spacebar, it's even
funny.
that much more. It's even that much more difficult, is what I was going to say. But yes, it's also punny, and he did a great job on it. It looks awesome. It really does look like space. So that's crazy that he was able to achieve that look. I'm not sure if it's So he mentions in the comments it's SA. So that has to do partly with the fact that the SA keycaps give you that extra space to do those designs on, which I'm sure if he moved it into Cherry Profile, it might be a little bit more difficult.
I think it'd be very, very difficult because you definitely don't get that amount of height to actually get your layers in and whatnot. So that would be definitely much more of a challenge.
Yeah. Yep. I'm definitely agreeing with that. But good work, and keep up the awesome work, Prime Caps. Moving into one topic which I thought was pretty interesting was the next White Fox drop, which has been it's on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Is it also on Mass Drop? I don't think so. Am I crazy? Have you seen it on Mass Drop?
I think I did see it on Mass Drop. Is it on Mass
Is it currently running on Mass Drop though?
Is it the same drop or is it a slightly different drop?
It should be the same.
So
White
Philip
Fox.
says no, it's not on Mass Drop.
So okay, well I'll take Philip's word for it.
Only on Kickstarter now, is what they say.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
So it says on Kickstarter, this is big news for me, is that they're going to be switching to Cherry stabilizers instead of CoStar stabilizers, which I am very supportive of. I swear by Cherry stabilizers, I wouldn't use a keyboard with CoStar unless there was literally no option, as in it's a vintage board and you'd have to make a new plate for some crazy design to get Cherry stabilizers in there. So I'm pretty hyped about that fact. The reason why I've been such a hater of CoStar is because with JTK keycaps as well as with GMK, every single time I've used CoStar, the little stabilizer inserts pop out unless I use some sort of plastic in between the stems and the keycap mounts. So it's been a lot of work changing keycap sets basically, and I think that Cherry feels better overall. Another thing which I really dislike is CoStar, the front stabilizer, especially on the White Fox. It's on the top surface of the keyboard, which to me is just, I don't want to see a huge stabilizer bar at the very front of my keyboard.
So they didn't make it so it was on the back of the keyboard?
No, not the White Fox I had. Let me see if I Google White Fox, maybe somebody else, maybe I built it wrong. Mine was definitely on the front, and it was like, ugh.
That's really interesting. I mean,
Uh,
I know what you
it's hard.
mean.
It's hard to tell, but it was like somebody who had like braces and like, but my keyboard it's too cool. I can't have braces. It's an adult with great teeth. So a lot of these pictures I'm looking at, they might have switched it to the back. Maybe if they switched around their CoStar stabilizer inserts, like the ones that go onto the plate, maybe you can swap it to the back. I didn't actually think about that. But this one here I'm looking at on Gadget Flow, they have it on the front. Uh, it looks like there's definitely some that have it on the front, and the rest I can't really tell. So it seems like it was a relatively common thing going on. It might have been for every single White Fox, but that was one of the least appealing parts of it. And I'm happy that they're resolving one of the least appealing parts. It could almost get me to the point where I'd purchase it again.
Oh, are you gonna go away from your love of your ZZ96?
No, I'm really trying to not buy keyboards. It's really hard. Uh, Speaking of Kevin buying keyboards, I received two keyboards this week, which are awesome. One of them is the Tai Fame 5539, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a Tai keyboard. And the unique aspect to this keyboard is it has cherry profile double shot keycaps, which are thick, and they're Alps mount. And they are the only keycaps that are this quality for Alps that are thick ABS double shots, because every other Alps cap seems to be so thin. And I am just super hyped because I love it. I think they're awesome.
Mm.
It feels great. It's a really awesome design, and it's brand new in box. Like, it has the plastic cover. It has the original polystyrene inserts in the box with the original box. Like, it is brand new.
Um, are you gonna have pictures of it?
Yeah, I'll definitely throw some pictures up. Uh, it's only the tip of the iceberg though, because the other keyboard I received is a Data Desk switchboard, which for those of you that don't know was a keyboard made for Apple computers, and it's an Alps keyboard as well. And the interesting part about this keyboard is it's a full size, but the function row is attached to the structure of the keyboard, and then the 60% is one section which you can pull out of the keyboard in a sort of tray-like fashion, and the number pad is a separate section, and the arrow keys and the media keys are another section, and you could swap these around in, I guess, groups of three. So the number of different ways you can do it is, I guess it's 3 factorial, so it's 3 times 2 times 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 6 different orientations you can organize it as. And so you can have the number pad and the arrow keys on the left side. You can have one on the left and one on the right. It's just awesome. It's so innovative for being an older keyboard, and I love it. And that one's very good quality as well. A few of the keycaps are relatively damaged, but they're not necessarily irreplaceable keycaps, such as the Tai Fame keyboard. So it's not anything. It's not anything to cry over. And this one I actually found through Taobao, and I ordered it. I've had some luck ordering stuff from Taobao, and this one arrived safely, and it's awesome. So those are my two big purchases for these past, I guess, week or two.
Especially when you had tried to wean yourself off from buying more keyboards.
Right now there's one last keyboard which is on my purchase list,
And
and
and then is that Endgame?
it's pretty close. I don't think I don't think there's anything right now on the market that I want. So I might enter new group buys in the future if there are ones which really look nice, but and it's not like I'm going to be hunting anything really elusive.
No, no white whale, huh?
No, nope. No Korean customs either.
Uh,
Nothing to destroy my wallet.
no,
Except
no,
the last
no.
one, which I'm looking for, is the G85,000, which will be destroying my wallet. It is not chill. The value of that board is absurd. So we'll see how that goes.
Hmm. Okay. Cool beans.
And I guess right now I will jump into my keycap giveaway.
Okay. Sounds good.
So so this week we actually had 3 entries for our
Way. Three.
the board keycap, and the 3 people who entered is Bad Motorfinger 6, Noricon, and Sweet Kajini, who I announced last week. So these people have a very high chance of winning the board keycap this week. I can say that for sure. So the question which I asked them to send in a response to me on Reddit was list their favorite songs. So Bad Motorfinger 6, he said Reach Down by Temple of the Dog. And Noricon said Get Back by The Oral Cigarettes. And Sweet Kajini, which I announced last week, said Bruises by Rav, R-A-V. If you guys are looking to check out any new music, maybe go check them out and see how you like them.
Did you
I've
check
never
them
heard
out?
of. I checked out Bruises by Rav, and the other 2 I didn't organize on my giveaway list till this morning, so I haven't checked them out yet. But I definitely will, and I will be providing feedback.
Okay. Are you going to whatchamacallits, have like maybe like a link from them somewhere? You want to chuck it in somewhere and then we can share that as well?
Yeah, I definitely will.
Cool.
So I will. I'm going to rearrange this list a little bit, and then I'm gonna have Dawn pick a number between 1 and 3. Some high tech giveaway shit right here. So for those of you who are wondering, if you win, send me your address, your full address on Reddit, and I will send you that keycap, and I'll try to include something extra. One of our fans, I actually sent him a vintage black that I had made, and he told me that it changed his life, his keyboard life, and now he's a linear lover.
Oh,
So I'm sorry about that, because now you have to buy a bunch of new stuff. Whoops. But I'll try to include something interesting. I have a bunch of random things right now, so maybe it's Switch, which maybe you don't have, or something cool.
something cool.
So Dawn, you're gonna have to pick a number between 1 and 3.
Just because the guy said in chat 3 and 2, I'm going to go with 1.
All right, it's Noricon. So Noricon, his entry, Get Back, The Oral Cigarettes, that is the winning song. And
congratulations, Noricon.
congratulations. Message me on Reddit and I will get you that keycap. And it's also his first time entering, so thank you very much for participating. First time entry and winning, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
But I do want to say that I think all 3 of our entries this week were first time entries, because I don't recognize any of the names, so that's awesome as well. Keep on trying, and better luck in 2 weeks. Which leads us to our next question. The question for the giveaway for the next 2 weeks is, what is something which hasn't been seen in the keyboard community yet, but that you really desire? So I'm talking about innovations which haven't been discussed or haven't been moved forward, such as innovations in switch design, keyboard style, keyboard size, artisan design, like anything really, something that's been on your mind that you think has potential to be interesting, to appeal to people, or even just appeal to you, and you're looking forward to the day when it hits the market, and that's something that you can pick up for your collection. So send your responses to me on Reddit. My username is u/thesircheddar. Thesircheddar is one word, THESIRCHEDDAR. And we'll be announcing some of these cool concepts. We can share some of the ideas you guys have, and maybe have a little bit of a discussion on them. And we will be doing those giveaways next in 2 weeks, and we can see who gets lucky in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Sounds
Hype.
good. Philippe is asking, where should we send replies? To the Sir Cheddar on Reddit. To his PM there.
Yep. I'm actually not in the chat right now, but I will jump in a second, and I'll post my username just so that you can have that.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so we've done that. Okay, so public public service announcement. This was just a light one because I don't really want people to laugh too much or gloat at this person. But when drying your keycaps after you wash them, please do not microwave them.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well, hey, if you wanna give them a light nuking, by all means, but it's not pretty. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Did you see those pictures?
No, I didn't, but I just don't understand why that would be like, well, now I gotta dry it, so now I'm gonna microwave it.
Like,
what the heck?
It was hella impressive that they decided to do that, and
they're AEK keycaps. Why? Actually, wait a second. Yep, they're legit AEK keycaps. They're not the cheap replica ones. So as you can see here, the ABS spacebar is clearly inferior to the stronger PBT. It's because doesn't ABS have a lower melting point?
Yeah, the glass transition temperature is much lower. It's around 230, whereas like PBT is like a bit higher than that. No, sorry, glass transition temperature is about like 110. Yeah, whereas its actual melting temperature is about.
It's interesting because it really looks like the PBT keycaps are pretty much fine.
Yeah, they probably are.
Wow. Well, yep. That's I guess now we learned. Now we know.
Oh, Papa Homer, you are so learned. Learned, Pippi.
Oh, we already got an entry.
Oh,
pretty hype.
Quick off the mark.
Yeah.
Argon. We call it melting temperature. Okay, so just a little bit of science. There's melt temperature and there's glass transition temperature. They're actually two slightly different things. Melting temperature is when you actually have a phase change from solid to liquid, whereas the glass transition temperature is when it starts to move into a rubbery state. So anything that's a polymer generally will have a glass transition temperature, and glass transition temperature is when it becomes sticky. It's actually a technical term. And so the presence of water in material actually depresses the glass transition temperature and lowers it, because water's glass transition temperature is like minus 183 degrees. So if you've got something that's a high water content polymer, it's actually easier to melt and go into a rubbery transition state, the glass transition state, simply because of that. Yeah. So they are actually technical terms. If you look into material science and polymers, you'll see a little bit more about that.
These are thoughts from Dr. Flayrad.
Well, the only reason why I know about glass transition temperature was because I bloody worked with the stupid things for 3 years as part of my PhD.
Dr. Flayrad. Get it right, everybody.
Science with Dawn.
Science with Dawn. New YouTube channel. All right. Is there any topics on our list, Don, which you feel compelled to touch on?
We've kind of actually, well, besides GMK Necro and SA Miami, everything else is actually we've talked about. So I'm happy to go with either.
So SA Miami, it's a Max Keys set. I don't know. I'm like getting kind of blown out of the water with SA Max keys
They're doing a
and
lot
SA.
of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming.
It's like every week they
There's
have something going.
Yeah, and Z Frontier is like busting out key sets. I'm getting some serious key set fatigue here.
Aren't they doing superhero as well? Max Key superhero?
Max Key Superhero, what the hell is that?
Um yeah.
Max Key's SA Superhero? Oh,
Yeah.
why? It's so. I guess if you love Batman. Uh. Oh God.
I guess you don't love Batman.
It's SA Bumblebee. I guess that's what I would call it.
Oh well, yeah, okay. That's a good way of
I'm
describing it.
I'm more of a Transformers person.
Yeah, except for the custom legends. So, yeah. But other than that, I suppose, um, not Miami, GMK Necro. I saw it earlier today, incidentally, because Jolly Green Giant. No, he was talking about a different one. Sorry, I saw it earlier this week, and the first thing that I looked at was that the pale greenness to it, um, is it's really off-putting. Like I know it's meant to be like ghoulish flesh, decaying, that kind of shade of a green. See you later, Philippe. Thanks for coming along. Um, but I was just like, man, I would not want that green on my keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But once again, that just goes down to personal preference because I'm not into the whole ghoulish macabre kind of scene normally, which is why I don't have Reapers or Skull keycaps and all that kind of stuff on my keyboard. Not that I don't appreciate the work and what they are, it's just not my thing. So if you do like it, then by all means, check it out and get onto it.
I gotta say that I do like it. I think it's a really unique set, and it's mellow. That's the word I would use to describe it. It's just a very chill set, which is
Mellow.
it's a concept which I don't think we get too much of in the community. We either get boring vanilla like stuff that you'd expect on a keyboard, or you get Miami like crazy colors. So this is kind of a cool, unique balance. This was also done by the designer of Plum, Jessica, who's a
Oh, okay, right.
pretty active community member. This is one of her new projects which she's working on. I do want to say that I told her that she should name it GMK Graveyard, and she has vetoed that. So I'm gonna keep the graveyard hype going. I think you should call it GMK Graveyard. Because Necro's got too much forum chat. I don't know. It's
Well,
like
yeah, you're
you can
bringing
like
something back from the
Necro
dead.
threads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it comes with too much. Like when I hear Necro, I think of other things. Whereas when I hear Graveyard, this is what I think of. So
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
make GMK Necro Graveyard again.
Um, well, that's pretty much it for it was actually a quite light week, I felt, this week. There was a lot of stuff happening around with, people showing off nice keyboards. And of course, there's different meetups, shouting out meetups. Boston meetup happening, Perth meetup last week. There's
Seattle meetup next week.
Seattle meetup next week, Stockholm happening. There's a couple of interest checks for other meetups. So it was actually relatively light in terms of heavy duty discussion, is probably the best way of describing it. And while everyone likes drama, at the same time, we don't really want to get too jumped up on the drama train. And that's because, people are involved in our community. You don't want to be always jumping on drama because it can hurt feelings that are not necessarily justified, especially when it's very early on. So always have to be very careful and very aware of what we say and how we say things, because things change in a very short time frame, and you don't want to be making assumptions and slander and all that kind of stuff, especially when there could be something else happening that definitely doesn't warrant that kind of behavior. Now,
Yeah, that's you never really have the full story. Even when you think you do, you don't. So,
yeah, I mean, you might just
uh,
come out on Twitter and release some emails, right? So,
emails.
now, of course, because we've actually got a live audience, and this is, of course, a special episode because we are doing live stream and so forth. Do any of you guys actually have anything that you want us to talk about or discuss openly on the air, appropriately, of course? And for those who
Or
have to leave,
inappropriately
or
off the
inappropriately,
air. Let's go.
yeah, just pop it in the chat and let's see if there's anything that you guys wanna have a quick rumble through before we kind of wrap up for this.
One thing I'll throw in before any of them jump in is if any of you have experience with some screw-in stabilizers, I purchased a set from Originative and I'm thinking about trying them out. And I just want to see what people think about them because there really hasn't been that much discussion. But I think they're kind of a big deal being offered to the community through our vendors. So if any of you guys have experience and you have some thoughts on it, positive, negative, anything, feel free to send them to me because I'm really interested, and I'll probably be touching on them in a week or 2 or 3 once I get to try them out and share some of my thoughts in regards to that.
Okay. Screw-in stabilizers scare me only because the thought of actually screwing something in and overdoing it, like cracking it or breaking a trace or something like that, is that's just me. I'm kind of bad with those kind of things.
I'm a little bit the same. That was the first comment I heard is people were recommending using using nylon screws instead of the metal screws which are provided, just so that you don't short anything on your PCB.
Yeah. Okay. So BW Zebra said F62 and F77 hype. I'm actually not very familiar with what they are.
Oh, these are the Model F keyboards.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so
Now I know what
they're the revival of Model F switch. It's the best clicky switch. I gotta say, I have a Model F. I don't have it converted and working yet, but it is really smooth. Like it is dirty. It is really old, and it is awesome feeling. So I think that this project is probably. I think it's fair to say that this project is the biggest project our community has ever seen. I also saw that this the maker Eclipse or whatever his name is, 1954 something whatever. He's going to be on NPR for the keyboard. That's crazy. NPR is huge. So
what's NPR?
it's a radio show.
Oh, okay. Cool.
National Public Radio.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's like a National Public Radio. Yeah, I didn't know if that was right or not. It's a really popular sort of radio show podcast type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to meet people who haven't heard of it before. So
Maybe that's just because it's an American thing.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I'm sure that plenty of foreign people. It's some of our higher quality radio type shows that we have right now. So it's hard to meet people who haven't heard of it before. So it's a pretty big deal in regards to that.
Fantastic. That sounds good.
I would love to get one of these, but it's just a lot of money. They're like $400, and I know they're like once in a lifetime, and the price is pretty justified. But he's planning on running a second run of them. If I'm still interested at this point, I will probably be entering for one. So.
Okay. Cool. Now, of course, Andrew has asked, so the last week for the Eco Group Buy. Now, the Eco Group Buy is a $10 PCB is the intent for it to be a 60% ortholinear style buy. So make sure you check that out. We do have links from last week's episode for that as well. Now, Outrage Pudding has asked, would you guys ever consider getting a Patreon and setting up a rewards tier? I don't know what we would offer as rewards, Kevin.
The working caps. That's pretty much our only products. It would be worth thinking about, but I don't think that we'd have to. We're planning on picking up stickers eventually. It's been in our discussions for a while, so when we have a little bit more to offer, then maybe it would be a good idea to consider something like that.
But I mean, stickers, like, that's a once-off thing unless every month you want to get like a sticker. That's just silly.
Yeah.
Like for a subscription kind of based concept that Patreon is primarily orientated at, I think being able to offer something consistently of value for the contribution is really important, and I don't want to do something that's half-assed, and that's what makes it really hard, is because for our community, what on earth would you possibly be able to offer? Like, we don't do anything special, and we don't want to restrict our content for people who can afford it. So if you want something that's slightly more exclusive, then I don't want that exclusivity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we definitely don't want exclusiveness, but I guess we're gonna have to have like a focus group sometime and chat about it and see if there's any potential. Right now we have a donations link, and that's been very good for us so far. If people are wanting to support us with not expecting anything in return, they're able to, and that's worked out great for us so far, and I think that's something we're comfortable with. So
yeah, I mean, donations from people in the community this year have paid for 4 months. Yeah, 4 months of our hosting costs, which has been great. And it's just part of running a hobby, and we front the rest because we enjoy what we do. We like what we do, and it's always great to chat and shout out to the community and just have a good time. So extra content, exclusive episodes, uncut off-topic episodes, cooking show, greeting on your home answering machine. Whoa, okay. Well,
that's a good idea.
I don't even have an answering machine. If you want voice work, that we can certainly arrange. That is a very interesting concept. I had actually looked at freelance voice work previously. So that's that would be interesting. Cool. All right. Well, if nothing else is really out there, then I think we might call it there and say thank you, of course, to everyone who's come along. I know that we had, I think, at peak around 18 people checking out the stream tonight. Not massive. It's definitely not our record, which was only 21 or so, but I still appreciate everyone who's here. There's 13 people watching right now, which is fantastic. Love you guys heaps. And of course, for those who were not able to catch the live stream but are listening to this as the podcast, you are of course most welcome to head over to our YouTube channel to check out my CAD, because we didn't actually have anything on the screen, because when you watch the actual playback you're not going to see the chat as well. So yeah. And for those who actually have no idea what I'm doing, what I did was I actually took a KLE layout of one side of my Delta Split 75, and I'm trying to design a all-in-one piece 3D print plate case for it, because I don't want to do a sandwich style, but it does mean the actual bottom of it is going to be potentially open. That's going to be a little bit weird, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, now I know that previously I cut off the last stream early when I said my goodbyes. And people who are like, you cut off halfway through. And I know Top Clack actually figured out what the delay is. I don't know what the delay is. So maybe we should work out what the delay is. Now, somebody in chat, when I start to count, I'm going to keep counting, but then the moment that you actually hear me say 1 is when you should type 1, and I'll have an idea, because of obviously how many seconds I'll go down will be approximately a delay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-second delay. Okay, fantastic. Which means the guys are now spamming the chat with numbers. Which means a 10-second delay, so I should say goodbye and then leave 10 seconds before we actually stop the stream. Now, is there anything else that you want to say, Kevin, before we wrap up?
Nope, just Jomo Quaila.
Oh, and of course, we do have to update. Kevin has an air conditioner.
Oh yeah, I got my apartment place got me one, so we're storing up cold air for summer right now. We're currently doing that. We're riding the air conditioner like we stole it.
Do you want to tell them how cold you make the
We're going around to 15 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Fahrenheit? Holy crap.
I mean, Celsius. 15 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
They are thrashing the life out of that AC machine. All right, well, I think you've already said your goodbye. So we're going to call it. Thank you, of course, for coming along, checking out the stream. Much appreciated. And until next time, happy clacking.